All right, folks, welcome back for match 5. This is Kent Ketter Hot Takes, bringing you a little Knightfall action, brought to you by Cardhoarder. Yeah, we will take the play, and we will be shown a pretty good one. So we're just going to run this out here. If our opponent has some ideas about interacting with that, we can just go Plains, Voice of Resurgence, and be in good shape from there. Doesn't look like that's their idea of fun. So if I wonder if I'm supposed to go up attack for one. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna fetch basic here. Put this voice into play. And just look like we're hate bears getting in for a little action. There's nothing to see here, sir. Nothing to see. Just go about your day. Don't worry about us. The only downside is if they go like Mountain Power Mantra's Ascension, and I'm just like, oh. That's the case. We've got a decent clock to start. Might not be that big of a deal. Hopefully that voice is just like super good against them. They're staring at the 3 spell snares in their hand, just like, oh yeah. Okie dokie. Opponent is Think Twice Serum Visions. Not really sure what that one gets us, but we'll take it. Okie dokie. Just make them think we're Naya. Make you think we're Naya. New. Fun sub games in Modern. What deck are we? Don't think it has a ton of value here, but it's still kind of a fun little game to play. We'll probably Queller anything but the flashback Think Twice out of our opponent. My hope is it's something powerful like a Howling Mine. Then again, I hope it's not the turns deck. I really hate being the bearer of bad news to the Brewers in Modern. Meh, we're gonna counter that one. Blue, countered. Yep. That is correct. We countered you. We're gonna pay 2. We're gonna first put out this. First put out this Spellskite. Next, we are going to cast this lovely, lovely Selfless Spirit. Holding up whatever it is we need. Yeah, we've got our opponent dead in 3 turns. I don't think this Path to Exile is going to have much relevance here, but the Selfless Spirit is going to, I think, either just flat out counter a counterspell or provide a nice pinch. Spellskite was a good draw. Really just showing the old, look at us, we're Bant Company. I mean, really, it's just modern Bant Company right now. Path to Exile over Jamoka's Command. This would be within my wheelhouse. Sylvan Advocate's real good though, but 6 mana, 6 lands is just infinite in Modern, so definitely not where we want to be. There's some better 1-drop attackers. Probably is. Oh well. I'm sure our opponent is pining over the differences between a Selfless Spirit and a Spell Queller. Maybe he's horrified by the spell skite. A lot of spells in our name. We're a spell name theme deck. Just gonna try to bop our opponent in 2 turns. We got him pinched in just the right ways. I'm assuming it's just for a tap land. Oh, really? What's the line here? So we just change that over. That happens, that happens. We protect ourselves from the wrath. Now our opponent has to have removal spell plus wrath, and we just pop this in response, which saves us from the wrath. Oh. Spellskite's great. Drawing our one-ofs or limited cards is great. Selfless Spirit's great. So unless our opponent has a cryptic that they want to prep for, and if they have cryptic, it'd be counter tap. Attack with the team, assuming they're going to have some sort of sequence that is going to be beneficial to their end goal. Probably won't matter. So block there. No, we're gonna let you have your 2, but we're not going to let you block. I'm going to path one of those knights. And that puts you dead. Unless you have a removal spell, then you're not dead, and that's pretty nice for you. Blocks here, take 6. This is brutal. Should have played that Spellskite pre-combat. I'll look for another basic, and then we're going to follow this up with the post-combat drubbing. Don't think they'll enjoy this one. White. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have another one? I did. Oh. Might as well fetch. Get out something. Play something. Fast and loose, folks. Fast and loose on this one. Nothing real exciting. Opponent's playing the control deck, so... Oh, it looks like Esper, actually. Secure the Waste is an interesting one. I can't wait to spell Queller one of those. Yay, we got a game. Okay, so... The control deck. Yeah. This doesn't seem very important, and 2 of these can probably go. Could cut the other. Oh, right there. like the Ghost Quarter over the Township. Another clean swap there. So what are my thoughts on getting some of these accelerants out? Because they don't seem nearly as powerful. So let's cut 2 of these. 3 of these, actually, and bring in 3 birds. And let's just try to be the mid-range deck. Yeah, so 4 hits, cutting 5 hits. Yeah, our company's got better. Our birds get out. So the thought here is I don't want this against decks with sweepers. 2 paths is fine. Pride Mage, I don't think that does much for us. I'd rather have stuff like Scavenging Ooze and the like, and the voices are pretty obvious. Hierarchs for attacking, 2 paths just for his colonnades and random stuff like that. You know, maybe Kitchen Finks are wrong, and we would just rather keep the Pride Mages, which isn't a terrible thought. This hand on the this hand on the other hand is awful. So let's pitch. We hit a second land, we're in good shape. And we did. So control deck has to have quite a few good answers. I'd like to see another land next turn before we pop all these fetch lands. Okay, we'll take it. So that means I can't get I can get a forest, but I can't get a plains. Screw it. So my thought here is just go to whatever life total you need to. I could pass on getting the blue source, but I need to get... Yeah, I'm just going to get the whole spectrum. Yes, I would. Get the blue-green land. And now I've got all my mana fixed. Yes, I would. Green, blue, and... Well, hopefully just this curve of things is good enough. We will happily cast like another Voice of Resurgence next turn, or a Knight, depending on what our opponent presents mana-wise. I expect fantastic. This voice is sticking, so guess we'll. I don't think we need a Knight of the Reliquary. Probably just a second voice. I want to save the Courser until the turn after, so we can play the first land off the top. If that's the case. In order, I think it's Knight, Voice, Spirit. Maybe Spirit's a little bit higher than than what I'm giving it, but this seems pretty good. If our opponent wants to counter the Knight, they can give us an Elemental. Yeah, let's go with that. Now, if they have removal spell into like cantrip, untap removal spell, that's a pretty bad sequence for us. I think that's a pretty good one for them. They'd be pretty happy to accomplish that. Yep. See, the other nice thing about Voice is you get your lands untapped, which really has a pretty obvious net positive effect on what we want to do. So this is actually going to let me go... Probably just Voice, Spirit, but Courser seems really good here. Slipping in the Knight seems decent as well. Okay, we're going to go Courser. I'm actually going to play around the Spell Snare here. Actually, we're just going to go this, and then we're going to leave up, make it appear like we have a Dispel. Don't expect our opponent to have a clean answer to this, maybe another path. Get us another green source, which would be acceptable. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use that ability, we're going to get another green source, and then we have like voice into Courser, which is pretty powerful. Looking like a rudimentary hate bears deck here, which is fine with me. Assume opponent has... So if they have the counter for the voice, we get to drop the Courser into play. Which hopefully that'll draw us a card here. Can't be Mana Leak either. It has to be like a hard counter. Okay. We'll pay 3. We're in no rush here. Anything we can do to just slow down their sequence is good for us. Yeah, this all seems great. I would assume they have the removal spell for this here. I'm interested by our opponent using the Mana Leak in that situation. It doesn't appear to be very... I wouldn't chalk it up as advantageous there to just make me use 3 mana. But I could just be misunderstanding some aspects of the matchup. See if this Courser resolves. Well, we're going to put that Ghost Quarter in play because I think I'm required to do that. Yep, this seems great. Then from here, just a bunch of attacking. So our opponent is going to have Colonnade up here pretty soon. But I think that's a net positive if they tap down for it. And then we try to path it before it goes to blocks. A lot of mana they got to commit to make that work. Double Ghost Quarter. That seems powerful. Just go to attackers here. So the thought here is with retreat resolving, did I want to cast another voice? So if my opponent does, attempt to go through Spirit, Wrath me, it just puts me in a good position. 6 mana. Is it a secure for 5? Oh. Woof. It is not, but it is a revelation for a 4/4 for yours truly. Secure for 5 would have been interesting. Not necessarily great. I wonder if I'm supposed to blow this up. probably supposed to save it for Colonnade. That seems like the safer of the two options, as we just try to mid-range our opponent to death. Gonna hold that Knight. I didn't want to fetch it away or anything. I didn't care about the scry trigger there. Just wanted to make that happen. Now, if we can get a Windswept Heath to bottom something, in response to the activation, I'd be pretty happy. Or activation resolves. That'd be kind of neat. Huh. 4, 10, 11. Trying to think if there's anything I'm missing in regards to... Nope. Yep, 11 damage is what we got. So hopefully Courser will hit a card, and we can just try to fight back from here. Right now, I'm sure my opponent is trying to figure out how to get around the pinch of Voice plus Spirit. Did not have the Cryptic Commanded in a turn. Tried to get us with that game 1. That was a pretty hilarious sequence of draws. Like, very heavily in our favor to have that specific sequence come up. But at the same time, it's pretty rad. So they're gonna opponent's probably gonna target Path Exile. Okay. What's it gonna target though? Oh, wants me to shuffle. Oof. We'll just make our team indestructible this go around. Doesn't force us to shuffle away anything. Still gives us a tap on their turn. 5, 6, 7. This seems fine. Maybe I'm missing something. No. Feels like our opponent's just trying to gain a little bit of traction. Can't say I blame them. I'm going to tap down that Snapcaster Mage. Neat. Tap that. Yes. So I'm actually going to run this out here. My opponent has the counter magic. They'll just like use it instantaneously, which is fine. Guess I'll see if there's a land drop to be found. I don't mean with this, I mean like off the top. Huh. Just gonna untap that because I don't really care, because I want to hit the Misty Rainforest, which is a great scry 1. Okay. We're just gonna grind as much benefit out of this retreat here as we can. There's not really a big downside to it. I don't want to run, like, we have this, that's definitely available to us as we find it to be necessary. What I need to do. Oh. Huh. Whoops. Thought I had a... Guess I already played a land. Oopsie. That's okay. Well, just all that babble for nothing. Okay, so the opponent is just digging for Ratho. We're looking for... Oh, not really sure in this situation. That fetch was real loose, though. You have a land drop. No, you don't. Haha. Just block. Don't really think there's a downside to this sequence. Wrath. So then I kill you on a reasonable untap. Okay. I can handle this. 1, 2. No detention sphere. No detention sphere. Can't think of like a really hard punish besides detention sphere here. Okay, opponent is going to 0 and zilch. Double wrath, sure. Just get another land out of here. Yep. Last basic in the deck. Square one. Okay, well, these are our 2 horses. Okie dokie, so we have finally arrived at the attempt to combo stage. Excuse me. Our helper this evening is the loyal spell Queller. Let our opponent have all of these effects they want. All we're really looking for is the super awesome one, which allows us to protect our knight, and then on the untap we'll be able to get lethal fairly easily, even through the Celestial Colonnade. I'm not too worried about that one. Just let them keep cycling, or let our opponent keep cycling until they find what they feel to be an answer. Another Sarah Pigeons. So they've got a specific one in mind. My guess is it's detention sphere. Okay, it is not detention sphere. Black. So they're digging for the... Oh. Well, this is going to end exactly how I thought it would. Getting to give them the business. Whew, all right, Spell Queller. Quelling the spells. Okay, well, that is the end of our series with a nice 3-2 record by the looks of it. I'm sure that's what my prize window is reflecting. Deck was sweet. We'll go through some closing thoughts, and we will be... Well, sorry. Closing thoughts, and that'll be in just a minute here. So make sure you come back. This was Kent Ketter, Knightfall, Hot Takes, brought to you by Cardhoarder. Thanks a bunch.